Hi, I'm Tom Dolder. I came here to talk a little bit about the Sammic machines, and because people are getting more and more into doing their own packaging, and retort canning has become a pretty popular little thing, especially with fish and meats. Retort canning actually came about with MREs, or it's a contribution to flexible cans is actually what they are. The retort bags come in a variety of different sizes. This one happens to be a 4-ounce size, but they are a metallized bag and they are a 7 mil material. So it takes quite a bit of machine to actually get these things to seal. They have a plastic lining on the inside, which is BPA free, and a metallized material on the outside, so that this is actually a flexible can. So what happens when you retort pouch things is these are weight sensitive, so you want to put in 4 ounces of food, vacuum pack them, seal them, and then load your pressure cooker. Now, one of the things that we've discovered is that the more bags that you can pack into a pressure cooker, I mean, you don't want to get them in so tight you can't move them, but you do need to actually fill up your pressure cooker so that you have a good quantity packed in here, and that will keep the bags from expanding too much. One of the things we found out is that if you just put 2 or 3 in there, the bags have a tendency to blow out sideways, which causes the side seams to fail periodically. So we put in, I mean, we've been packing retort pouches all morning, but we have, and I did mostly 8-ounce packages to fill up this pressure cooker. And I have a 4-ounce package here and just a little bit of meat. Turns out that when you're doing things like chicken, fish, tuna fish, salmon, chicken, those kinds of things can actually be put in the bags raw with some seasoning or flavoring, vacuum packed, and then pressure cooked. You will find that things like pork, buffalo, cow, any of the other meats like hamburger patties, things like that, want to be pre-cooked before you vacuum pack and retort them. So red meats I generally tend to vacuum pack cooked, and things like tuna fish or salmon and or even chicken I just do raw. But it's very important that you weigh out your ingredients. So for instance here, what we're going to do is set a little cup on the scale. When we turn the scale on, it's going to set itself to 0. And in this case, we're going to put in 4 ounces of product. This just happens to be some chicken we have left over from a few of the other packages that we made today. So this is 4 ounces of food. It's approximately the same amount of food that you can put in a half-pint jar, one of those short little squatty ones. So the 4-ounce bags will hold about 4 ounces of product, which is what you put in an 8-ounce jar. I know it doesn't make much sense, but it's just kind of how it works. So once you have your product in here, we're going to use the Sammic machine this time, and these machines are what we call retort ready. So there's no modification that has to happen to a Sammic machine in order to get it to seal a retort pouch. Again, the same rules of vacuum packing apply. You want to make sure the bag can lay good and flat across the heat seal bar. But the settings on this are, this time we're going to pull out 99.9% of the air, and we're also going to run an extended vacuum of 5 seconds on this machine. We're going to leave the gas turned off because obviously you don't want to put any more gas into it. We're trying to create a full vacuum. The heat seal cycle time on a retort pouch on this machine seems to work out pretty well at about 3.5 seconds. And the soft air isn't necessary here because we have a bag that is so stiff that you can just kind of speed up the cycle. So with those settings in mind on this machine, we're going to close the lid and let it go to work. The Sammics have a 10-meter pump in them, so they really don't have to work very hard at where they're going. They're a nice, quiet machine. They're incredibly well built. The electronics in them so far have been absolutely flawless. And the sensors are very, very accurate. So we're going to run this one up to 99.9. And then as soon as it hits the 99.9, it will start to count the other direction on a cycle time, or an extended vacuum. So this is actually letting the package sit in a vacuum to make sure we get all of the air out of it. The heat seal cycle will run for 3.5 seconds, and then we're letting air back into the chamber to open up the bag. So this has a single heat seal wire on it. It is a crimping wire, so it will seal a retort bag. And not all machines are capable of sealing up a retort pouch. So you want to be sure, if you already own a vacuum packer of some kind, I've been known to send out some sample bags just so you can see if you can seal a retort pouch before you actually spend a lot of money on buying a bunch of bags that don't work for you. Let me know and we can send you out 1 or 2 of the small ones and you can see if you can actually seal them. If you get a good seal, then by all means, buy some bags.